Hey, welcome to Keto with RaQuett's. And today I'm going to go over your 8-week Clean Keto Kamp. So get your game face on. Hopefully you're just jumping in and getting ready to get started. And you've gone through your prep week. You have watched the webinar on insulin resistance. And so you understand that this is a fit for you and it's going to be a great thing to turn you around. So people come to me all the time and they ask me if I'm a fan of the keto diet. And I say, well, that depends. What are you talking about? Are you talking about the fad keto diet where people just read about it, online, or they heard about it from someone that's trying to coach them that's only been doing a keto diet for a few months? And so, no, but I am a fan of the therapeutic ketogenic diet that is very healing to the metabolism, and it's probably the only diet that's going to turn someone around that has insulin resistance, and here's why. So just like I said, if you've watched my video, the webinar on the insulin resistant, you'll know that your body has 6 fat burning hormones and it has 3 fat storing hormones. And so I've been studying this for years. I read a book years ago called The Zone, and got excited about the fact that we can really literally biohack a body to be able to go in and burn fat for fuel, like trigger all 6 fat burners and kind of shut down all 3 fat storing hormones. And I had really great success with this with myself, and then I have great success with my patients as well. And then there just came a time in my life when it wasn't working. And so let me tell you this, what worked for you in your 20s is not going to work for you in your 30s. And what worked for you in your 30s is not going to work for you in your 40s. And I just turned 50 this year, and guess what? I had a hysterectomy and things aren't really working how they used to. And my body just, I was doing everything I could. And I'm probably a little bit like you. I don't know about you, but when I first heard about the keto diet, I was like, wait, what? And I met these guys at a nutritional conference where I was given a presentation, and they were putting big, cubes of butter into their coffee, stirring it up. And I'm like, what are you guys going to present on today? And they said the ketogenic diet. And I said, well, I've never heard of that. What is it? Well, it's high fat and low carb. And I was like, high fat, I went to school, how I went to school, got my degree, and it was, that's all they preached was in low fat. Now let me just get that out of your head before you jump into your keto count, because it's important that your brain be on board with you. And so years ago there was a study released by a man of the name of Ansel Keys, and it was kind of a felonious study where he kind of showed that fats, and saturated fats predominantly, are what it was causing heart disease, stroke, cardiovascular disease. And the thing is that study hit government and it circulated our entire nation. It got into the food guide pyramid, and it basically was what was behind our entire nation getting overweight and obese, because fat burns fat. I tell people all the time, you got to eat fat to burn fat. And that's literally what happens. Now, there is a myth circulating out there that calories in versus calories out is what is going to help you either lose weight or gain weight, and that is simply not true. It's your hormones. And so hormones is what is controlling your weight, literally. And so what we want to do is, you have 6 fat burning hormones in your body. You have 3 fat storing hormones in your body. So as we can trigger all 6 of your fat burning hormones and shut down all and stifle all 3 of your fat storing hormones, then it puts your body in a state where it can really get lean, because you're going to be burning fat all the time. And so I literally did that when I read the book, The Zone. It's really awesome because it brings, the information helped me know how to bring my patients' blood sugar into a zone that was really tight, and it would control their insulin, and it would also trigger the release of a really powerful fat burning hormone in your body called glucagon. And so if I could get my patients to release glucagon all throughout the day, then they would burn fat. And I had 100 people lose, 27 people lose over 100 pounds doing that. And it's been very, very successful. However, there were just, and it's getting worse it seems, but there were just some people that would not release fat, even though I'd put them on the zone. And I thought, ooh, their zone must be tighter. and I was the same way. I was drinking protein shakes and eating salads and going to the gym and running. And I had about 20 to 30 pounds I could not get off. And I was just getting frustrated. And so, like I said, when I was introduced to the ketogenic diet, there was just a total mental block. And then I had an event coming up that I wanted to drop some pounds forward. I was getting desperate. I'm like, come on, I would do some cleanse days back to back, nothing. And just nothing was working. And so I thought, I'm going to try this. And I tried to go and do the keto diet again by myself, but I didn't have enough information. I just cut my carbs down, and then I ended up not feeling good, and I didn't know what to eat. So I was an epic fail. And then I did it again, and I ended up getting keto flu at church. I was at church, and I'm going to help guide you right through this so this doesn't happen to you. But for every gram of carbohydrates you eat, your body retains about 4 grams of water. So as we start you on the 14-day keto kickstart, which is the first part of your keto camp, we're going to pull your carbohydrates down to induce ketosis. We call this the induction phase. Ketosis is just where your body starts to burn fat for fuel instead of carbs. And so as we do that though, sometimes when you lose all that water, you flush out all the water, it also flushes out some of your key electrolytes. Now, your body is an electrical system, so as you lose those electrolytes, you're not going to feel good. If you don't know how to replenish them, replace them, and keep them up here, even though you're flushing a lot of them out, you're going to feel really good. A lot of my people, I've guided them right through, and they feel fantastic, depending on the state of a body. Now, some people just don't feel well through that, and we'll guide you through. That's why I set this up, so you're not out there doing it alone. You've got a surrounded, listen, it takes 4 things for a transformation. Number 1, a decision. And you've made a decision or you wouldn't be in this group. Number 2, a plan. I'm going to give you a very strict plan and tell you exactly what to do. And if you stick to it, you're going to have amazing success. Number 3 for a transformation is group support. And so you're going to have a community of people around you answering questions. They're going to cheer you on to your success, but they're also going to guide you, and I'm going to guide you through your frustrations. And then number 4 is accountability. So every Monday, you'll see in our private Facebook group, I'm going to be calling for numbers. I want to see your scale. I want to see what's working for you that week, what's not working for you, so we can have some accountability in our group. Okay, then what's going to happen is as we guide you through that, you'll just end up feeling really, really good. Back to my story, when so I decided I ordered a ton of books and I started studying. I'd stay up every night and I studied, read every book, ordered everything I could online, and it started to really click and make sense. So as we know, our hormones control, our weight. Here's what happens. Yes, you have those 6 fat burning hormones that can be really beneficial for you. But the problem is you have those 3 fat storing hormones. Well, the kingpin of all burners, either the fat burners, the fat stores, is insulin. So if insulin is present in your body, you're not going to burn fat. It's impossible. And so your body literally scans all the time to see if there's any insulin, because sugar is toxic. So when you eat carbs, it turns to glucose, which is a form of sugar, and it's toxic in your body. And I used to even tell patients this, that glucose was the preferred source of fuel. But the reason we thought that is because your body always defaults to burning glucose for fuel. Let me tell you why. It's because sugar is toxic. So your body's like, get it out. We got to get it out. It's toxic. And so it locks down all fat cells. If there's any form of insulin in the body, because insulin is a sign that there's somewhere that there's sugar in the body, glucose. And so that's what your job, that's what insulin is job, to come out and kind of scoop up all of the glucose and bring it into the cell for fuel. So your insulin's always doing that, scooping, vacuuming out, putting it into the cell for fuel. And what happens is when you keep eating carbs and sugar and pizza and popcorn and soda pop that has like a Mountain Dew has like 76 grams of carbs, it's ridiculous. And so then your insulin keeps coming out to take care of that. Now, pretty soon your cell is like, hey, I'm full, and it gets resistant. You got to slow it down. I'm not bringing any more glucose into my cell. And so your cells become what's called insulin resistant. Now, when that happens, then you've got insulin out in your blood because it's not bringing it into the cell. And so your brain triggers your pancreas, hey, there's glucose in the blood. Release more insulin, even though there's already insulin out there. So your pancreas releases more insulin. Now you have an overabundance of insulin. It's way up here. Now remember, you will never go into fat burning. You can go to the gym for 2 hours. You can climb a mountain for 3 hours, and still your fat cells will stay locked down if there's insulin. So we've got to get the insulin out. So someone that's insulin resistant, they've just got a lot more insulin present in the body. So if you continue to do this, now you're pre-diabetic. You went from insulin resistance to pre-diabetic. Now, if you continue to do that, you're going to get type 2 diabetes. And type 2 diabetes is just where you have really, really an overabundance of insulin present in your bloodstream at all times. Now, pretty soon, what happens is your pancreas has to keep releasing insulin, and pretty soon it's going to get tired. So here you have your pancreas, and it's going to say, I'm done. I'm done helping you out. I'm done releasing the insulin. I'm done. And it stops. Now you've got type 1 diabetes. So type 2 and type 1 diabetes are the exact opposite. Type 2, too much insulin. Type 1, your pancreas is shot. You have no insulin. And so it's a progressive disease, and it is a disease. It's not funny. It's not something to joke around about. And so it makes me very, very frustrated when people say, you know, oh my gosh, don't you think that's a stupid diet when you have to take an entire macronutrient out of your diet? Well, listen, if your body's carb intolerant, you don't put carbs in your body. It's just the same as someone being lactose intolerant and saying, hey, listen, you're stupid. You need to drink milk because there's calcium in it. Even though you're going to get sick, you know, as a dog from drinking, it's just stupid. So insulin, or even like gluten, think of it that way. I have a friend that's celiac. She gets a little bit of gluten in her belly and she's dying, you know. And so people that are celiac, people that are gluten intolerant, they wouldn't eat gluten and say, well, there's vitamin B in that, so I just need to eat it. No, that's why we're pulling out a macronutrient. Now, at first glance, you know, and you'll hear people in the keto world say this, and I don't particularly agree, but they'll say, you know, there's no such thing as an essential carbohydrate, which is true. You know, you look, there's essential amino acids, there's essential fatty acids, but there is no such thing as an essential carbohydrate. I agree. However, what they don't mention is that all of your vitamins and minerals that are very essential are in your carbohydrates, in your fruits and vegetables. And so if we can find a way that you are doing a therapeutic ketogenic diet that's going to heal your metabolism for the rest of your life. This is not a diet. So as you're rolling into this, you have to wrap your brain around that. I'm healing my entire I'm healing my metabolism, and you're totally changing your metabolic pathway and your endocrine system to be utilizing fat for fuel. And that is a cool thing. Now, some people will say, well, ketosis is stupid. It's not healthy, or it's not safe. Everybody's body should know how to be into ketosis. Should you be into ketosis all the time? No, not necessary. But you should know how to burn your body fat. You know, you should be able to go from glucose to fat, and a lot of people's bodies don't know how to do that, literally don't know how to click over into body fat. Now, when you're burning body fat, if you imagine that glucose, if you're a sugar burner, it's very dirty, like it leaves a lot of byproduct. There's a lot of inflammation that comes when you're a sugar burner, and you're up and you're down and you're moody and you're tired, you're hungry. And do you think, if you need to lose weight, I want you to do the math. On a ketogenic diet, what I hear all the time, I'm never hungry. I'm not tired. I have energy. I don't crave a thing. So do you think you're going to lose more weight over here being a sugar burner and you crave carbs and you're hungry a lot and you eat every 2 hours? Or over here doing a ketogenic diet where you're never hungry and your cravings are just gone and you have energy through the roof? It's not rocket science. You know, you're going to do so much better. And so, but what I found is, I've been studying this a lot. We're going to take you through a 14-day induction phase where we bring, now this is one thing you need, and I'm going to give you a checklist, but what you need to decide is when you get into the files, you're going to see that there's options. You can either do an ultra program where you bring your carbs down to 20, or you can do what's called a light program where you keep your carbs around 50. And people ask me, well, what should I do? Well, if you want to be sure that you induce ketosis. You want to pull down to 20 because some people's body is just a little more resistant and they're not going to get into ketosis up at 50. So you can bring yourself down to 20 and just know that that's going to happen. Now, after your 14 days, you can bring yourself up to 50. A lot of my people stay down at 20 because they feel so good, but it's up to you. You can bring yourself back up to 50 so you have more leeway to get more nutrition. Now, when your carbs are down at 20, what I say is you have to look at every carbohydrate and decide on your ROI, which is called your return on investment. So you want to make sure that you're eating vegetables that are power-packed with phytochemicals and phytonutrients that are literally going in and healing your organs that trigger off your fat-burning hormones and just your organs in general. People say all the time, oh, you got to lose weight to get healthy. And that is not true. You need to get healthy to lose weight. Your body doesn't want to pack around excess fat. And so you got to heal those organs, and naturally it's going to release the fat and it's going to be gone. And you're going to be, your insulin sensitivity is going to go up. And what does that mean for you? It means you're going to be able to eat more carbohydrates than you were before. And because, before I did this, I'd sniff a carbohydrate and I would just gain weight. I was like, what is wrong with me? And I just couldn't lose the weight. Well, when I started doing this, I've lost 30 pounds, doing this, and it just, and I feel great. And I call it my keto cape. You're going to feel like like Superwoman or Superman. And, like you put your keto cape out. My kids make fun of me. Mom, you think you have your keto cape on? I'm like, I do. So, and that's what we want to help you do too, is get on your keto cape but it's a process to get there, right? So decide what you're going to do. And if you're on any meds or struggling in any way, then I recommend the light. You can do the 50 and you're still going to have great success with that. Now on prep week, hopefully this is game day. If you're watching this video, you're in the first unit of week 1. But hopefully you've done your prep week, you've brought your carbs down slowly, you've studied, you've got your pantry prepped and all that. Well, and I'm going to go into your checklist just to double check that you've done everything. But it's going to be, really helpful for you. Okay, so here we go. Once you know what you're going to do. Now, step 1, decide what program. I'm going to just go through my list here, and then you can check and print this out so you can do the check marks yourself. Number 2, you're going to write out your why. Why are you doing this? You're going to be around people that want to go to the movie and eat popcorn, that want to go to Zeppi's and have ice cream and all of that thing. And later, that's down the road. I mean, don't think you're never going to eat any of that again. Maybe if you're like me, it would be wise. I'm just a food addict, sugar addict. If I have one brownie, I have like 20. And so you can decide for yourself, but write out your why, get clear. Get your mindset, get your head in the game, that this is important to you. This isn't a diet that finally you're going to turn your metabolism around so it's not so hard anymore. Then you're going to get your supplies. So if you look in the unit, the prep week unit, you're going to see one of the things that you can click on is getting your supplies. Now you don't have to get everything. I like everything, and some of you will. You're just scientific that way. You're going to want to do everything. But I do really recommend that you get the pink Himalayan salt because that's going to help you sidetrack keto flu, which watch the video on that so that can help you. Also, you can put it on your foods. The brain octane. Brain octane is MCTs trigger ketosis. They take your body into ketosis and get your body burning fat. But C8 is one of the most powerful MCTs. And because it doesn't have to go to the liver to turn from fat to ketones, it literally just goes straight to the brain. It's ketones. So you feel your brain turn on because when you have these 2 tanks, and as you deplete your carb stores and you bottom out that carb tank, which is what we want, but when it hits ground zero and your body doesn't know how to burn fat for fuel yet, you're going to be like, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and your brain's going to be screaming, go eat some carbs. So don't do it. Don't do it. But if you take that brain octane, it's like the bridge that takes you from your glucose tank to your sugar tank, to your fat tank, to your ketones. And so that's going to be really helpful for you because it's going to give you the energy and help your brain a little bit. Make sense? Okay. And so make sure that you click, I'll put it in the comments below. If you haven't done it yet, you're going to want to click on the app for your, what's it called? I think it's called Keto Diet app. And then you're going to go through and do your macros. Watch the video on macros so you know what you're doing. Then you're going to download carb manager. And don't make this harder than it is, because some people do. And what they do is you don't have to load in all your numbers and have your calories and your carbs and your fat and everything. Just know what your numbers are. You can, but I've never done that. And it's never been a headache for me. And I'm watching so many people like get frustrated and struggle. They're like, I don't get the app. Just download the app. And then what you're going to do is put your food in there, and it's going to show you how many carbs, it's going to show you how many protein, how many fat. Don't make this harder than it is, And two, if you're that type of person that's like, I want to do good, and I'm just going to eat ketogenic food. I'm going to eat, keep my carbs low. I'm going to look at what RaQuett's has in the files for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. I'm just going to follow that. I don't want to sit and track all day. You can do that. I want you to do what's going to work for you. Now, those of you that want the best benefits, you're going to eat the proper macros for your body, because your body needs so much protein. It's a low carbohydrate diet. It's a high fat diet and a moderate protein diet. It's not a high protein diet. So get your supplies, clear your pantry. Now, really, you guys, go through your pantry, and if you have any what I call red light foods, those are the foods that will call you in the night, like licorice. Red licorice is that for me. And so I just don't have it in the house. And know what that is for you. Go clear your pantry, clear your fridge, and prepare your environment. We say this all the time, environment is stronger than willpower every time. And so make your environment conducive to a successful program. And so then the next thing is, so you download the Carb Manager app, get your supplements. If you're someone that wants to supplement your diet, you can see the plan where you're having a protein shake for breakfast, and I call it an amino acid cocktail, and I'm going to tell you some fun things to add in there, but you can do an amino acid cocktail in the morning, the Fat Blaster, and then you can do the anti-cellulite cocktail in the afternoon that's with your amino acids. Or if you want to have eggs or protein in place of that, we're going to give you options so you can, be eating what you want. And so, but you'll see that a lot of my program is loaded with phytochemicals and phytonutrients. So really do the best you can to really put a lot of those in your body. So this is a healing 8 weeks. It's not just a weight loss 8 weeks. Okay, make sure that you order your keto sticks. I mean, you can get like 100 of them for like $7, so it's kind of worth it. And then make sure you go to the unit and know how to track your ketones, why that's important. The cool thing is that we can see if your body is in ketosis. And so, okay, so here's the process. Day 1, which may be today for you. You pull your carbohydrates down to 20. Now, when you're looking at my plan, your body doesn't have the enzymes to break down fat yet, so take it slow. So on the document, if you see that I put 1 tablespoon of MCTs, then you do 1 teaspoon and work up to that. If I say 2 tablespoons of ghee or grass-fed butter, then you work up to that. You start with 1 tablespoon, because you want to ensure that your body is uploading the enzymes that will break down that fat. And that's what we call fat adapted. Your body will adapt. That's what our bodies do. They're adaptable. If you go to the gym and you're weak and you start lifting weights, you're going to hate it for a minute. And then if you keep going back, your muscles are going to grow and adapt to being able to lift more weights. Now your fat intake is the same. In the beginning, your body's going to be like, I don't know how to break that down. And then you're going to upload the enzymes that start to break that down. So then as you feel that and your body starts getting better at uploading those enzymes, then you can increase your fat intake. Now I know this is really hard, but you just get this in your head. I got to eat fat to burn fat. So one of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they're not eating enough fat because they're still in the fat phobia. Like, that's bad. What? I'm putting this much butter on my vegetables. Yes, grass-fed butter is one of the best things for you. And I'm going to, you can do my whole webinar on what to eat, and that's going to train you on that. But another thing is, okay, so you decrease your carbs, you increase your fat. Now your body starts to get good and get into ketosis. Ketosis just means it's taking your dietary fat that you're eating and turning it into ketones, which is a fuel source. So once that happens, then you're spilling ketones in your urine, and you know how to monitor that. Now, here's where the intermittent fasting comes in. Your body gets really, really good at burning fat for fuel, your dietary fat. Then when you're fasting, because you're doing your 16-8 split, I call it, so you're eating for an 8-hour window, and then you're fasting for 16 hours. So you finish your last meal at 7, and then you wait until like 11-ish, but just push that back. Do your best. If you're used to eating at 7, then just start to push that back to where you get to 11, and then that's your fasting. Now, when you're fasting, now that there's no glucose available, and now your body's used to, turning fat into ketones, it'll go into your body fat and burn that. That's the magic of the mixture of the ketogenic diet plus intermittent fasting. So that's where a lot of the fat burn, and you'll notice yourself just lean out. I'll notice I go through a phase where I just get leaner, and I'm like, oh, yes. So then what we're going to do is we're going to get you close to your ideal weight. You're going to go all the way through the 8-week keto camp. The reason you're going to do that is you have to become fat adapted. You want to, and what that means is you want to create that metabolic pathway where your body is really good at knowing how to burn fat for fuel. So it knows how to burn carbs really well, knows how to use glucose. We need to train it how to burn ketones. And so that doesn't happen overnight. We want all the tissues in your body to be able to, because you can start turning dietary fat into fat, and even turning, your body, releasing your body fat, but we need your tissues, your muscles, your cells to be able to know how to utilize those ketones. Make sense? So then you're going to get, that's where a big part of the weight loss is going to come. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions as you go through this, make sure that you reach out. You'll see on the program that bone broth is a big part of my program, and that's because it has collagen. It does such a great job for your skin, your hair, your nails, but also for your digestive lining. I'm dealing with so many people that have leaky gut syndrome, and they just, are having a lot of problems that way, and we want to heal the gut. You have two brains. You have your brain in your head, and you have your gut brain. And if you have a dirty digestive system, then you have dirty blood. If you have dirty blood, you have a dirty body. You have a sick body. And so we want to heal the gut and the microbiome down there by eating a lot of vegetables, so you get the prebiotics that feed the natural flora down there. And it's just like the whole program, and you'll see that every single thing that I've put in the program has a reason. And so, you can do sweeteners. Just know that if you are craving something, there's fat bomb recipes, there's, desserts. My cheesecake is to die for, so good. And then my cookie dough is phenomenal. But if you know you're a food addict, a sugar addict like me, try and go 30 days without any at all, because then you're going to do so good. You're going to feel good that way. And that's how it goes. Now work through the units one at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes people come in here and it's so much information, and it really is different. It's different than what you've ever done before. And so it takes like a learning curve. So don't get overwhelmed by that. Just like say, I'm going to take one day at a time. Stay in the group so you can get the support of the group. Ask questions, post. We want to hear your success and cheer you on. We want to cheer you on when you're having success, and we want to guide you through your frustration on those days that you may be struggling or just don't know what to eat, or you're stuck, or you think, you're not doing good. But watch your ketones, but don't get so obsessed with, where those are, because you're still going to do good. All right. And that is it, you guys. And it's just a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So just know that. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself grace. And we love you. We're here to support you. And, we want to help you put your keto cape on. I want to help you put your keto cape on. I say this, people that are sugar burners, it's like they're in the wilderness. It's like in the wilderness, like the Israelites for 40 years. And we're over here in the promised land on keto with our keto cape on, and we want to help you put your keto cape on where you have energy, mental clarity, you're leaned out, you feel good, and it's going to be really fun for you. Okay, have a fantastic 8-week keto camp. Love you. Bye.